J. Cole has released his quote-unquote final album, if you will. The Fayetteville MC says the Falloff is his last one, and if so, he's going out with a 2-disc opus that's dense, sometimes frustrating for some, and what some may say is beautifully human. Let's just do a review, because I know we've all listened to this, and let's just kind of talk about it around the table, kind of like high points. You know, let's start with the high points, and we can talk about the low points afterwards. So, I don't know. Jay, you want to start?
The high points are Cole can still rap his ass off.
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel like on just a rapping level, he's lost a step. If anything, it's still very enjoyable to listen to him rhyme.
Sure.
So I'll just say those are the high points. The one song where he's talking about being hated on by, there's probably some dude in Fayetteville who's feeling some type of way right now.
Oh yeah,
I love that record because it seems like he's a tad angry and petty and bitter, and not really bitter, but so much was like, "I told you so, you bum," whatever.
BAN.
I'm here for that. I'm here for all that.
I know some people.
It's personal.
Like that.
You know what I did not like? The what was it? His ode to I used to love her.
Yeah.
I was like, he could have kept that.
He can stay on the good stuff now.
Okay, stay on the good stuff. Yeah, stay on the good stuff. You know, there's probably a good 13 to 14 tracks here that I think are just top tier. You know, to the point where like I might make my own version of this album.
Sure.
So, you know, I can listen to it, you know, in the way I like. I mean, I do that for people who put out longer projects, you know, to where I create my own playlist as their album. So I don't feel I have to skip around. And I don't just do it for these newer albums where we talk about how they do it for streaming. I did it for Life After Death. Like there's my mix of Life After Death. I remember, shout out to, and rest in peace, my buddy DJ 2 Deep. He went in and actually edited Only Built for Cuban Links because he didn't like all of the skits and stuff. So he did it to where you tied it together and it's just all songs.
That's kind of cool.
You know, and so I think with modern technology, people are able, now mind you, he did it like actually cut it up and reburned it to a CD like that. Like now with everyone just listening through the DSPs, you know, you can create your own playlist. And I'm going to do that with this album. I think the production in spots was good, was, you know, not great, but good. And I just think, like I said, I like to hear people who still care about the art of rhyming. And I don't think there's one part on this album where I'm like, okay, J. Cole, you could have kept that. That was some bullshit. Like, as far as like the actual rhyme schemes and the actual creativity, as far as putting the rhymes together, I think he did that all through this album, even on the songs I didn't like.
Fair. I thought it was a J. Cole album. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was where it over exceeded or under performed my expectations on my listens. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't over the top. It was just kind of melancholy as far as like, it's J. Cole. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and it was some, I think as a whole, it was actually a decent project. He had some shining spots on there. I like how he started off the album with the take that shit to trial, but he using the 2-6 reference instead, and then with the beat too. I like the fact that he used features. Yeah, Tim's on the song with Future.
Future was really singing on there.
He
too.
was. That was actually a good Future song.
I agree.
That's probably my favorite record. Was the Bunce Road Blues was probably my favorite on there. But it was because of Tim's.
I think as a whole together, that the whole vibe of that song to me was
God bless
solid.
that woman.
Yeah, definitely God bless her. He did bless her. And I don't know. I just think it was a J. Cole project. It wasn't anything left for the imagination, to be honest with you. I mean, when J. Cole drops a project and it really hits you, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? That was serious. Like when I first listened to Forest Hill Drives or even KOD, those kind of had that different Cole energy to them, even some of the early mixtapes. But like for the most part, Cole is going to give you Cole. So if you expect something else, it's almost like you don't know what artist you're checking out because it's just not going to be that.
Fair.
Yeah.
What do you think, Byron? High points?
High points. The man can rap.
He can rap.
Yeah, he can rap very well.
He's supposed to be able to rap really well, but he can.
Yeah. That's about it.
Okay.
Just
Keep it real.
Yeah. Like,
I think. Did you guys like disc 1 or disc 2 more? Because I like disc 1 more.
I think I like 2.
Yeah, I like this 2 more.
Really? Yeah, I liked 1 more because it felt a little bit more personal. Disc 2 just kind of felt like he was. Well,
I think it all felt personal in a sense because like a lot of it has to do with being in Fayetteville, North Carolina. The second half of he's talking to his wife on a couple of them songs, to his kids. So I think it was still personal.
Yeah.
It was just personal on a different level. But in the second half of it, he also got into obviously how he still loves hip hop. He still likes rapping essentially. So
the second disc to me kind of felt like he was rapping from a different perspective almost sometimes. Like just the subject matter, the way he was kind of pulling out and the homage references, which I thought that was cool. I thought the second disc, the fact that he almost every record had a couple pieces of like pulling from something else. Like it was cool in theory. You know, like, all right, cool. I get what you're doing there. I thought the beats, to Jay's point, were good enough. I don't think anything was over the top. Nothing stands out to me, really.
He got a couple of joints from The Alchemist, or at least one from The Alchemist.
He got at least one. He got one from Jake One, co-produced the I Used to Love Her joint.
I'll get to it.
But you know, I think you know, I said this in a video that I made. I think he checks the boxes off as far as like it's hard to be like super critical of J. Cole without being nuanced because he does everything technically right. You know, and so like to me, this is a solid project front to back. There's nothing that I would skip. You know, realistically, like there's nothing like I can play this straight through. And I can feel the same way. Now, what are you
doing when you're playing?
So what I would also say is like, if you're going to do that, you're going to have to be awake.
Yeah.
Because, you know, J. Cole kind of has this monotonous type of flow, delivery. Everything is like right here. There's not a lot of features. So it's hard, you know, that nothing breaks that monotony a lot, which is okay.
I can't say that. I'm gonna shoot him some bell on that because he definitely gave me some different flows. He gave me different cadences a couple of times, and I enjoyed that. So, like I said, the man can rap, but and this is leading into negatives.
Go ahead.
Okay?
Let's go down it.
There weren't a lot of good songs. You know what I mean? Like when you talk about hooks. You know what I mean? And shout out to Sounds by Cam because he's the one that I first saw this, man. He was like, man, the song structure, like as far as hooks go, and memorable hooks that make you want to sing the song over again, I didn't get that at all.
The Let Out was the one that stands out.
The pirate song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
he don't have very many songs. Like when you think about his whole catalog, I never think about Cole when I think about a hook.
No, not really.
But he has some very memorable songs. Yeah, damn, you're right.
There's not really. Yeah. I can't think of it.
You can't even
really
remember a hook right now.
Nah.
Power Trip.
But
I think that's more or less because Miguel.
And probably Crooked Smile.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, but I'm saying he's never been the guy that I'm expecting to hear a dope hook from.
What was the
song with Burna Boy? But that's not. That was the only thing I heard that made me think, okay, single maybe.
Or this joint with Missy, where she's the one doing the hook.
Yeah, that
she was responsible.
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
So I mean, he's just not somebody I look to as a hook man at all.
Did you like his singing on this project?
I
never really with his singing though.
I mean,
I didn't hate it. I thought it was just with a lot. And it's like right down the middle. Like I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was just like, all right. But that goes to my monotonous feel. It was just like everything was just good enough. It was just like, all right, cool.
Man, was to me, man, this shit was just boring, man.
See, you say you're gonna shoot him some bell. I'm gonna shoot him some bell too, because like the things that Cole does, he's good at everything that he does.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he's giving us quality work, but it's almost like we're too particular about what we want to hear that we critique his work so much, and it's still going to be good regardless. So it's like we're pulling straws because we already know he's going to give you a good body of work. It's going to be an A paper like we've referenced in the past.
Yep.
But we still you know what I'm saying, have our ideas and opinions on the type of music that he presents. Like, nobody can take away his rhyming ability. He's very, very dope technically. He knows how to put words and phrases and syllables and all of that shit together. But what do we think the main core thing that makes people say that J. Cole is boring is?
To me, the issue is like, it's the tempo of the album. It doesn't change. You know what I mean? Like, it just seemed like one. That's what made it boring to me. Yeah, it was just one straight line. He didn't really give me. There was no plateau. You know what I mean? It was just just coasting. I
think it's multiple fold. You know, I think that's part of it. I think it's also the fact that he doesn't introduce a lot of features sometimes. So the way that Cole raps in a very similar way that's similar to, he reminds me of Nas, he reminds me of Black Thought. We talked about this. Me and Nick talked about this recently, mentioned him. And, you know, there's a lot of people that don't like Nas and Black Thought because of the same type of things, right? Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean they're not great MCs, you know, because they're both great. And I think they're all different in their own different type of way. But all of those artists have gotten the criticism of like, you're boring or you're not varying from that line that's kind of like really straight, you know. That's
the first time I heard somebody say that about Black Thought, actually.
I'm a huge fan. I think what saves Black Thought a lot of times is the roots. Mm-hmm. Just because, and all the musicianship that's around it, you know. Mm-hmm. So like he's in that pocket very much so, consistent, but like I don't really see them as the same. Like I put Black Thought way higher than J. Cole, but I can see how people can make that comparison. Another thing too, I think is, I said this before, I think it's his personality in a way.
I thought he gave you personality this album.
I think he did too.
Mm-hmm. I think it's how he gives his personality out. Mm-hmm. I think the best way that I can describe it, and I've said it in videos, I said it in the episode before that we've talked about, like, I feel like there's a lack of depth in his vulnerability. Mm-hmm. You know, I do think it's related to the fact that he wants to kind of keep this level of safety around the stuff that he puts out there. I don't want to sit here and say he's not vulnerable, because he is, you know, that's not what I'm saying, but like, he just doesn't go as deep, and his personality isn't quite as like in my face as much maybe I would like for an artist who is as good as he is to be. And
so you want more emotion from J. Cole?
I want him. I don't feel like, all right, if you and I are having a conversation about some shit, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you about some shit that's going on in my life, and then all of a sudden, you know, like we're just talking about the stuff back and forth, and it's your turn to talk, and you're just like, yeah, man, I went through some shit too, man. It was kind of similar.
And then that's just it.
And that's it. You know, but or like you say something that's kind of surface level, but you're not cutting any deeper than that. And and I feel like sometimes like he just doesn't give me the meat and potatoes of it in a way that like feels authentic. And a lot of it feels performative. Again, I think he's, to what everybody's saying, he does everything super well. And sometimes it's hard for me to kind of to feel like, is this just him performing really well? Or is this like, because he knows how to give us these emotions because he's smart and he understands like, I need to go extra heavy on the end of this. What's that song that he did that I actually like, Quick Stop, where he's building up this and he starts rapping really serious at the end, all this stuff. And what I'm hearing when I'm listening to that is like, I feel like this, I don't feel like that's emotion. I feel like you're just performing that for me. And I know there's levels to it, but I feel like all this goes into why sometimes like his stuff just doesn't resonate super well with me. It's the intangibles with him.
I'm going to say this, and I might catch hell for it, but I don't care. Every time I hear Kendrick in a lot of Cole's music, man. You know what I mean? Like when I heard, to me, Born Sinner is Diet, Good Kid, Mad City. This is Diet, Mr. Morale, and the Big Step. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's another critique I'd have is like, to your point right there, and then I'll let you jump in. I feel like he gives us a lot of like what he sees. He's almost like Logic 2.0.
Oh.
You know, like,
don't do that to him.
I mean,
Logic is a shapeshifter.
So is Cole.
Not in the same sense. I get what you're saying.
Disc 2 on this is shape-shifting Cole to me. Every single song starts from like, oh, this is a cool idea over here. Let me take this chorus, this thing that's happened already here, and let me craft something around this idea.
Boom.
Let me find an idea that is not original, that's already been done by somebody else better.
Yep.
And let me put it in my own type of way.
God bless.
And then give it to you.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, Disc 2, that's what turned it for me to help me understand what it is about Cole a little bit. It's like, I feel like he's an authentic person, but it just doesn't come out in his music sometimes. It just feels like he's an actor. You know, like in Wonder Man, when I don't want to reveal too much.
Wonder Man was fire, by the way.
Remember, so there's the part where Wonder Man is going to this guy's house. And he's like, I just want to follow you around and see what your life is like. Let me just write all this stuff down, and then I'm going to go and take that and create this great body of work because I know how to check all the boxes off and do it. That's what it feels like to Cole.
Because that, what was it, a Quick Trip, whatever, that is diet, how much $1 cost to me. You know what I mean?
We all heard that.
We heard Diet Rewind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
like,
that was a good track, man. I see, this is the thing.
But it
was very, I mean, everybody, okay, so
it's exactly what he said.
I feel like every rap artist has somebody that they pull from and have recreated the wheel essentially for something on their album. Something inspired them to make that
There's
song.
no new ideas.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, and he went off on that. I still feel like that's one of the best songs. Even with the album coming out, that's still one of the best songs on the album to me.
Which one's that?
Originally called Disc 2 Track 2. Now it's
you're
called
talking about the Nas Rewind.
The Falloff is inevitable.
Yeah.
That's a fire ass song, man. Now, on the I Love Her Again, I'll give you that one.
Heard that 10 times already.
I heard it, and I literally just heard it because Simba put out a song very similar to that.
Oh, really?
A week ago, because he thought he was mentioned in this whole J. Cole situation on the mixtape, the Birthday Blizzard.
26, yeah.
He put out a song that is very, I Still Love Her, talking about his relationship with hip hop, that was better than J. Cole's. And his came out a week ago. And this one was on Cole's album, which had already had to have been recorded. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's been done before. That song's been done. I thought what was interesting though, the joint where he talked about Biggie, the what if Biggie and Tupac had apologized to each other, blah blah blah, and they
I
wouldn't
thought that
be
was
dead.
cool.
I thought that was cool
I couldn't
too.
stand that.
You couldn't stand. I thought the idea of it was dope.
It just gave me the ick. I don't know what it was about it.
A couple of these records actually did give me the ick. Like the DMX one did a little bit for me.
I didn't like that one.
Me too.
I did not like that one.
I was just like, what are you doing?
Even though I get what that's one of the records to his lady, right? Yeah.
I get it. Like I fully understand what he's doing here.
Yeah. Somebody actually brought up that Tupac Biggie song and was like, oh, now he's bringing him back from the dead, saying that it's hip hop to apologize.
Well,
which was a very interesting take because I never thought of it until I was like, damn, okay. Simba references being apologetic on his version of I Used to Love Her as well. And when he says it, he's kind of like, I never thought of it being an apology. And even that song that Simba made is more so of I feel like you took a shot out at me. I still rock with you, but I got something to say to you, essentially. But yeah, man, Cole is gonna do Cole, man. I feel you when you say that you feel like he needs to be more open.
That's just that's a personal
like
thing.
He's holding back.
That's a personal thing.
Yeah,
you know, like I still think it's a good project.
Yeah,
but that's just me personally. Like we only have so much time to listen to music. That's why my video that I put out is named "I'm Never Gonna Listen to This Again" because I'm not going to. Like it doesn't do enough for me. And for some people it will, and I think that's straight. That's cool. That's fine. But for me, it's just not. Like I'm going to gravitate towards people that when I listen to them, I feel like it's them, and I feel like it's 100% them. When I listen to Mick Jenkins, I hear Mick Jenkins 100% of the time
because he's still hungry.
You know, maybe that's part of it.
But you can still. I can honestly say I've been listening to J. Cole since day one. Obviously, there was a time where he was hungry and wanted to get this record.
Do you think that's what it is?
not
like
all the way together.
Like,
you know
is
what I'm
that
saying?
why? Is that why disc 2 is so much through the eye? I mean, don't get me wrong. There's personal stuff in all of the records that he's writing, obviously, but is that why everything is kind of derived from a different idea? Like he's trying to find,
I don't know,
inspiration because he doesn't know what to write about.
I don't know. That could be it, but he said I love her again, so I feel like the inspiration is there, and he actually had hinted on people being done because they don't have anything to talk about. I don't think he really exhibited that type of energy on this project. Like when somebody drops a project and is like, I'm done, it generally leaves you wanting more. And it sounds like I'm kind of wrapping this shit up. Like even the Jay-Z's The Black Album, it sounded like I'm about to rap real nice and give y'all a whole bunch of dope ass tracks and I'm done. Even the way the album ended, it was like, damn, this can't be the end. This album, when it ended, it was like, this ain't the end. Right. There's no way that he can walk away from the rap game and this is what he left. And this is supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, my curtain call or my bow to the crowd and I'm about to just do life. I'm just not, I don't believe that one bit.
Well, to your point about him not having anything to talk about, you give me an album called The Falloff and you are approaching 40 and then you make an album to me talking about when you were 29 and you went back home. What do you have to talk about now?
Yeah.
I think the Falloff was symbolic. I don't think it has anything to do with.
I get all of that. But you told me 2 years ago, the name of the album was The Falloff. And then you give me a concept album about you at 29 and you damn near 40 now.
Yeah. That's why it's not the end.
Definitely not.
It's not the end.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean,
he's gonna come back and he's gonna give you another J. Cole album, and we're gonna sit here and have the same conversation.
Yeah.
Like, it's a good album, but
this is like a conversation that we can only have with certain artists.
Yeah,
you know, like as critical as I am of J. Cole, he's still better than a lot of people.
Come on, that's what I was gonna go to next. It's like I would much rather hear so-called subpar album from J. Cole than that shit that Young Thug just put out.
All right, I say it like this. It was a good album, but it was not fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Neither was Mr. Morale.
Agreed. Yeah.
When I listen to Mr. Morale, I feel like I'm listening to Kendrick. I feel like I'm listening to his story. When I listen to The Falloff, I do feel like this is J. Cole, but it just doesn't feel dense. It doesn't feel densely J. Cole, and maybe there's just nothing there. I don't know.
I don't know. I could kind of relate to some of these songs on this. Like the Let Out,
I like the Let Out.
Was official. Like listen to that song. I literally put myself into leaving the Mecca nightclub and am I going to make it to the crib because people start acting silly in the parking lot type shit. Yeah. There's other songs on there that I felt too, but like again, this is J. Cole, man. This is his experience, and I don't think he's ever been that artist that is not going to give you a little bit lower than surface level about his life.
Yeah,
and that's just what it's gonna be.
Yeah, and he'll always give you something from. Yeah, you really don't get him in the moment.
So I guess
because Forest Hills Drive, his best album was him when he was in middle school, high school.
Yeah, that was the subject matter.
Yeah. Just so you never get him in the moment.
So you'll get whatever he's been going through now whenever he drops another album.
Maybe, and maybe that's another piece to this that I just didn't really kind of think about in full. You know, maybe that's just part of his art is to be able to fully take a time period and to analyze it and to reshape it in a particular type of way, you know. But it still leaves me kind of wondering, like, who is this guy? Who is this guy I'm listening to right now in this moment? You know, we may have already answered this question, but was this 2-disc swan song the magnum opus fans were promised, or does its massive 100-minute runtime make it frustrating final chapter? If it is a final chapter, which we've kind of alluded to, we don't necessarily think that it is.
I'll speak for myself.
Sure.
I was frustrated just because it was hard to get through.
Yeah.
But there's several J. Cole fans that are happy and pleased. You know, who am I to speak against their experience? You know what I mean? I can't say that I'm a big J. Cole fan. I've always liked his music, but can I say that I'm a real true fan of his? I can't say that I am. I've listened to everything since the warm up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Warm up to come up.
Yeah.
Friday Night Lights.
Yes. Oh, so I've been there since the beginning of his journey, but I can't say that I really latched on. I didn't really become a fan. I didn't really start enjoying his music for real. And he like I'm listening the night of it drops until Forest Hill Drive.
It was the same for me.
And then everything after that, it's just been
not that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same for me. Because I thought that was, because I was a little late to like liking Cole, like liking him. I was like, he doesn't really do a lot for me. And I've heard records that I kind of liked, but it was that record. I was like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was late to the party, but here I am. But he hasn't, his features have been the highlight to me for the last decade,
Where he's featured on somebody else's.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Because he goes in on those. He definitely does. As far as speaking from like a Cole fan point of view, I don't think you could do any wrong by giving them a double disc.
Mm.
I don't feel like that's going to bother any of them in the least bit. That might bother somebody like Byron was saying, being somebody that just casually listens to J. Cole. Yeah, you give me 2 discs and it's kind of like, I'm gonna get through it when I get through it.
Yeah,
it's the excitement of getting or listening to it isn't the same as a J. Cole fan, essentially. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't like the runtime itself. It's a little excessive in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
But in the same token, all you was gonna do was press play on that one and then press play on the next one that came out the same Friday, and it might not even been as good.
Sure.
So I don't really think it matters. Literally, when Kendrick dropped GNX, it was very unfortunate for Ice Cube because he dropped the album the same day, and I was listening to the Ice Cube album and never went back to it once GNX dropped. I don't even know what the rest of the album sounds like.
Like, to my point that I stated earlier, man, I had a much more enjoyable experience listening to Don Toliver's project, man.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I did too, because it's a different type of music, though.
Yeah.
Don Toliver is going to give you music that you are generally going to want to ride to, music you're going to want to be out having a good time to. J. Cole is a different type of listen. And again, you can compare it to books and TV series and shows and things of that nature. I would say a Don Toliver is going to be a comedy sitcom, whereas a J. Cole is going to be like a Law and Order type of situation.
So J. Cole is your veggies and Don Toliver is candy.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
What do you think, Jay?
Look, man, it's just one of those things where, like, I think we're all, it's weird that we all like the album, but we're somewhat frustrated with it.
Yeah.
And so when I hear someone, the whole idea of this is this magnum opus and, I don't know about all that. I think it's a good album in his catalog, but when we talk about running time, we also have to think about the business of music and, what counts for a double sale or however they make this work on streaming.
This one definitely do, because his runtime on these songs are like 5 minutes on some of them.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I have to. I don't want to say it's cynical, but it's just a realistic look at how the music industry works and how the metrics and how things are tabulated. Like I said, I'm going to go in and create my own playlist out of this. There are certain songs I'm never going to listen to again. Not because I don't like them, not because they're not good songs, but like I said, everyone has a different vibe of what they're looking for. But whenever at this point I see a double album, I have to okay, I see what you're doing there. And I just don't ever. It's even for the double albums. Like I said, the double albums we all consider to be classics. It's a lot of filler there.
Yeah.
But I understand the business side of it. So,
unless you're Chris Brown,
yeah.
It's not a lot
He's
of filler
an anomaly
in there.
because Chris Brown dropped a double album and they're still releasing singles off that double album when another album came out.
Yeah.
And E40, he dropped like a quadruple album, but
he does it all the time.
I mean, but there are people like that's where I got the idea. Well, from a myriad of places, but like I know people who do that with their Chris Brown albums who are fans of his. It's like, look, I don't like all these songs, but I make enough of them to create a playlist, and upon first listen, that all of them count as being listened to, and so that's why Chris Brown's albums do a good job at charting, because he has those hardcore fans that are going to listen to his entire project. They'll even listen to it while they're asleep, because that's what he's told them to do. And then, Cole didn't do anything like that, not that I know of. But then there are the people who are like, okay, these 7 right here are going to be in my heavy rotation. So if I can get 7 out of 24 to be in heavy rotation after you've listened to the entire project at least once or twice, then I've done my job as far as the streaming and the numbers and the business of music are concerned.
So I was thinking as you were speaking that maybe I need to check myself, because when I was even thinking about like the features that he was doing, and the soundscape behind those records, not many of them were really up tempo. Like the joint with Benny the Butcher, the joint with Lil Yachty.
What are you talking about?
Just how the
just
production
features
and
you're
talking about J. Cole's features.
J. Cole's features.
Gotcha.
Those records weren't up tempo records. You know what I mean?
Bob Lobo wasn't either.
Yeah, all of these records were cool, but at the same time, to hear if I heard those in succession, like one track after the next, would I be tired of listening to?
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're just getting him at like little bite-sized pieces of what he does.
Yeah.
That's fair. I did want to mention one other thing that I thought was really cool about this project was that this was essentially like him repping his hometown.
Yeah.
And I think that was kind of a cool thing to do as well.
That's what it was heavy for me. It was just more so of a repping the city that he's from, and that's that. It was not a bow.
Did you see his little 9-minute little mini doc
YouTube
type thing where he was like selling CDs out the car, his trunk and everything of that nature? Do you have any thoughts about that?
Let me tell you this about Jermaine Cole.
Yeah.
When he drops a project, the release, he does not miss. He has never missed on how he releases a project. Even back to the
shows.
Yeah, even back to the mixtapes. His team around him, superior marketing when it comes to his projects. I don't think there's anything else anybody could say about that besides that. He doesn't miss there.
Yeah, he gonna get out here and sell it.
Yeah.
It kind of goes back to what I consider what the Falloff actually is him starting grassroots. He's literally selling CDs out of his trunk. He's pulling up on college campuses. You know what I'm saying? Sitting with the people that are his fans, putting the CD in their hands himself. And he's no longer on Rock Nation. To me, that encompasses the Falloff, essentially. I got on, and now I'm off. I really wanted to get a record deal. I got out here, learned how the music game works, decided maybe that's not for me. So I fell off of the record deal, so to speak. But he might have got a bad deal. Who knows? What's his name? LaRussell just signed a deal with Rock Nation.
Right.
And this isn't the first time he's been approached by Rock Nation. First time he declined their deal. Jay-Z actually told him, you declining that deal made me have to check what's going on and actually be a little more proactive in how I do this. The second offer worked for him. Essentially, it's just a distribution deal. I don't know what the ins and outs of J. Cole's deal was, but obviously he wasn't too happy with it at the end of the day, and now he doesn't have that anymore. So essentially, in some people's eyes, he might have fell off because he doesn't have a record deal.
Yeah.
Well, now that you say that he wasn't on Rock Nation anymore, maybe he gave him this boring album just because.
I don't think this one is even on Rock Nation.
This is not on Rock
Nation. This is his.
This is his.
Well, never mind. I think I'll try to.
Try. Yeah. If you give this album a number, what do you give it out of 10? I give it a 7.
I give it a, just because it's 24 songs. If it was shorter, I'd probably give it an 8.5, but I'd give it a 7.5.
Respectable.
I'll give it a 7. Like I said, there's enough on here for me to make my edits. and create an album that I wanted to hear, and without the things I don't like.
Sure.
Most albums I can't do that for. I'm just putting them out there. Like,
Yeah.
I just never come back to them at all.
Yeah, I'll say 6.5, 7, somewhere around there.
The first listen for me was like a 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to it again. I was like, all right, this is better than, because to your point, it was like, oh man, I'm like having a hard time even making it through this project.
Mm-hmm.
But it got better.
Ironically, I listened to the album while I was folding clothes.
Folding clothes music.
Yeah.
Shout to Michelle for you.
Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all get that.
All right, let's move on.